Had a dream about you recently.
Knowing you, it was probably filthy.
Just the beginning. But then...
But then?
Right now!
What are we looking at here? Oh, what are those, like, ice golems? Maybe they're kind of like their version of a hellhound. This must be the Wild Hunt. This must be why she's been so afraid or like running. Down they go. Well, that's interesting, though. No, the Wild Hunt are like wraiths. Those seem like actual, like maybe skeleton warriors or something more corporeal or physical.
After the audience.
I'm slightly confused. I'm not sure if that's the Wild Hunt or not. And there's Vizima. That putrid city that we spent so much of Witcher 1 and 2 in. Well, no, Witcher 1. There wasn't much of Vizima in Witcher 2. Anyway, hi, Audie here. Welcome back. I had to cut the last episode in the middle of a cutscene because of the length. So we're starting this one here, kind of halfway through that cutscene.
Was in nearby Vizima.
One day later. Oh yeah, that's right. Make sure you get every inch, ladies. He seems happy. He's got shaven pits, too. Oh, wow. Look at that shot. I wasn't expecting that. Hey, up chop. Out of here. Leave us.
It must
What was
suffice.
that? You didn't get anything out of my hair. It was just for show.
Thinkamere cares if I'm clean.
The gentleman will refer to His Imperial Majesty by his full title or not at all.
I'm a gentleman, am I?
The gentleman will be seated on the bergère.
The what now?
Yeah, that's what I thought
In
too,
the
Geralt. In the chair.
Catwin, please shave the gentleman's sideburns to half an inch.
Oi, oi. I will do that.
What's wrong with my beard? Always thought it added to my dignity.
It does. Yet it also detracts from your elegance.
Fair enough. It's a trade-off.
In Nilfgaard, we consider beards hard on the eyes. Especially beards infested with lice.
Is it really?
Been on the road a while. Fine.
I guess
Do
they
your
are.
thing.
Oh, those lice? That's just a
Tilt your head
little
back,
snack for
please,
later.
and sit still.
If you cut me, I'll cut you deeper.
And prepare to
Wow, the
answer some
crags in that
questions.
guy's face.
General, I am not certain this is the appropriate time.
I can't think of a better time. Men turn honest when they feel a blade at their throat. Morvran Vuris, commander of the Alba division.
Like Jessica
Before I
Alba?
take you in to see the Emperor, Witcher, there's some information I need you to verify. It's a formality.
Right, I think this
It's
is
one
the...
that must be seen to.
Sure.
Yeah, I think this is the
Paperwork's
part
gotta
where
be
I'm
in
going
order.
to get to make
So,
my decisions about my Witcher 2
Geralt
save.
Of Rivia. Place of birth unknown. Parents unknown. Age unknown. All insignificant details. Let us proceed to more recent events. The siege of La Valette Castle. The fate of the defending commander, one Arian.
Okay, so here's where I'm going to simulate my choices from The Witcher 2. I'm going to choose what I did in The Witcher 2 game. Unfortunately, I could not import my save because I played Witcher 2 on PC and this is on console. No option to do that. However, luckily they put this little mechanism into the game. And so, yeah, in The Witcher 2 in my playthrough, which you can find on YouTube as well, I spared his life and he escaped.
We fought on opposing sides, true. Then we landed in the same dungeon. Arian escaped, set fire to the
You know what's weird is I've got the
house.
shaving cream on, and yet the beard is already gone.
So
you can
that
tell.
is how the blade started. Our reports suggested the dragon was responsible. Moving on. You then found shelter in charming Flotsam, and from there made your way to Vergen. My question is how?
I got out of Flotsam with Vernon Roach. I joined Yorvith. I actually did, in fact, join Yorvith.
I left Flotsam with Yorvith, commander of a Squirtel unit.
A slayer of monsters and a slayer of men. You forge interesting alliances.
Something tells me my most interesting is yet to come. Go on, next question, before my beard grows back in.
We shall shave you again if it does. Very well. The infamous summit at Loch Muin. You were there. And once again meddled in the affairs of the mighty.
I like to meddle. Had to save Triss. Helped Yorvith lift the spell that held Saskia. Shoot, I don't remember what I did. Crap. Had to save Triss. Helped Yorvith lift the spell that held Saskia. Hang on a second. I need to look up what this means here because I don't remember what this is referring to. So hold on a second while I look this up. Okay, yeah, no, I did. I helped Yorvith lift the spell that held Saskia.
Not at all. I meddled in a personal affair. Helped Yorvith lift the spell that held Saskia.
Yes. And in doing so, gave Radovid a reason to begin his witch hunts. Congratulations.
Yep, I remember that.
Nilfgaard
I do
recently
remember that.
started a
That was
war,
pretty horrific.
Unprovoked. So do us both a favor and stop moralizing.
The gentleman must sit still. I'm almost done.
I'm afraid I might find that difficult. Because, from what I know, shortly afterwards you watched a defective megascope blow your friend Sheila de Tanserville.
Yep, I did that. No, she did not escape. I let her explode. I remember that very well.
Old acquaintance, more like.
Ooh, I don't know why it brings me such glee. I did not like her.
But close enough that I knew she deserved it.
He believes he alone knows what is good and
No,
what
I
is evil,
don't.
and that this gives him the right.
That's
to
not what I
dispense
meant.
Justice. Your comrade Letho of Gullet described you so.
Ah, Letho.
Quite accurate, I'd say.
My comrade, your agent.
That's
Well,
right. He was a
National
double agent, though.
interest
Little
calls
do they
on
know.
one to forge difficult alliances at times. Alliances with witches.
Or do they know? Do they know Letho? I don't know. Yeah, the Alliance is dead. See, I killed Letho. I actually did not kill Letho. I left him alive. Wonder how that fight would have gone.
That an ongoing alliance? What's Letho up to?
I had hoped you would answer that.
I would have figured he disappeared, yeah.
So Letho's hiding from you. Must have a good reason. Was there a shift in national interest that might have caused that? I don't know where he is. Wouldn't tell you if I did anyway. Blade or no blade to my throat.
I believe that is all.
Hopefully he's continued his quest to rebuild the Viper School.
And nothing but the truth on pain of imprisonment or death, etc., etc. Here and here.
With these formalities seen to, I would ask the general to leave the room. We shall be choosing the gentleman's attire. An important matter, but one that does not require the general's assistance.
Shame. I might have given you some advice. So long, Geralt. Good luck with your audience.
Oh, now we get to pick between black, or more
Feels
black.
like I'm being readied for a wedding.
Were that so, I would have prepared the gentleman a frock, a tailcoat, or possibly a dinner jacket. In point of fact, the gentleman will choose from these garments.
Yeah. We are of a like mind, man. Yeah.
Black, black, black.
We do not like garish colors in Nilfgaard.
Yeah,
The gentleman will tell me once he has chosen an outfit.
Very well. Geralt is just so not amused by this. Character entry added, Morphons 4 He's. And that's it. Okay, let me get a good save in here and then we'll continue. Okay. Let's take a look at each of these outfits here. We can loot. Can we loot all of them? We can. Okay, so we'll try those out in a second. First, a dumpling, a pipe. Anything else? A sword for witches, huh? Let's read this. Who are the hunters, you ask? Folk like you and yours, I reply. The decent kind, haters of lies, doers of good, the kind who live according to the gods' laws and nature's laws too. Those disgusted by the machinations of witches, magicers, and non-humans. All that separates us from common folk is that we've the courage to take up arms, to defend our lands from evil, to slice out the gangrene that eats us from within. We haven't a leader, we haven't forts or lands, though God's fearing Gradavid supports us with his gold at times. We've not sworn him nor any other ruler on any oath. We serve only the eternal fire. Oh, it's the eternal fire, those bastards. And we listen only to our own conscience. So, eternal fire, huh? It's still around. Who can join us? Any who is right of soul and sound of body. You can find us in every larger city in the north. We will give you board, lodging, and a weapon. We will explain how to spot the telltale signs of evil, birthmarks in strange and arcane shapes, smooth skin on a matron aged more than 30 springs, and black cats kept in the yard, to name but a few. We will show you how to defend yourself from witchcraft, how to tame and snuff out magic elements with dimeridium. We will instruct you how to squeeze the sinner's darkest secrets out of them with a hot iron, and how to grant them cleansing death with the help of sacred fire. Death by fire is the cleanest death. Purges away all evil. Good graphics on those little icons. Gnomish prankings. What do we have here? Remember Kalkstein? He was half gnome in the first Witcher game. Scrub the greasings from a dog's ear, soak it into cotton with twine, place in a new lamp of greenish hue, and set said lamp betwixt an eager crowd? Forsooth shall they swear that a dog's head they behold, and this shall be no sorcery, but good betidings. For the Prince of Ellender's nuptials, a paltry gnome armed with a miniature cutlass behind himself in a pie. He hid himself in a pie, okay. When guests partook of the princely banquet, anon jumped out the sabred gnome, giving a terrible fright to all at first, then causing much merriment once the jest was figured. A cynocephalus, or a doghead, let's just say doghead, huh? That's easier. In our tongue, a beast that is the wastes of Zegabar dwells, has the corpus of a man but the head of a dog. The Prince of Ellender did receive such a specimen from those far-off lands. The cynocephalus lets stream its urine with the tolling of every hour, both day and night, and this is why the Zingobarians engrave its likeness on timepieces and compasses. What did I just read? I could not make heads or tails of that. Something about a gnomish prank. Hang on, before we put these clothes on, I really want to search this whole area. Seems we have a lot of books to read. That's fine with me. I enjoy this. The opposition in Nilfgaard. While Nilfgaard's emperor wields absolute power, harshly crushing the slightest sign of disobedience, opposing forces continue to exist within the empire. By this, I do not mean the disgruntled leaders of conquered provinces, but the magnates within the city of 1,000 towers who are unhappy with current leadership. This conflict between the emperor and the noble houses of Nilfgaard, the capital, dates back many years. All the princes of the blood and magnates expected their ruler to wed one of their daughters and sire an heir with one of their own. The emperor, however, had other plans. This proved a slap in the face for all the great families from which he refused to take a bride. The Nilfgaardian opposition patiently waits for the emperor to slip up, for some event to occur which will weaken his authority, be it an economic crisis or a defeat in battle. A secret conspiracy lies ready to seize such a moment to incite the disaffected, assassinate the emperor, and carry out a coup d'etat culminating in one of their own number ascending to the throne. It says it's a secret conspiracy, then why is there a book about it, I wonder? Not so secret, is it? Oh. Bear hide, that is quite valuable. The Chronicles of Redania. That's where Radovid the Stern is king. Verdansk the Elf. Despite what one might conclude from his moniker, not one drop of elven blood flowed in King Verdansk's veins. They called him the Elf because of his exceptional beauty and for the great admiration he felt for the Ancient. This fascination, seemingly harmless, would have horrible long-term consequences. King Verdansk, spitting in the face of all laws and customs, chose as his wife a half-elf, and one of low status at that, known as Beatrix of Kovir. The fruit of this regrettable and short-lived misalliance was Falka, who later fomented bloody revolt against her own father. Though this uprising was ultimately extinguished and Falka herself burned at the stake, the young state was thereafter thrown into chaos for years to come. So that must have been quite a long time ago then.
A.w.t.y, directly out of Nordling tales. Inconceivable.
The Wonders of Zerrikania. That was where What's-His-Face was from in the first Witcher, the main villain. Ah, I forget his name. The mage, you know? Yeah, I don't want to give anything away, though, if you haven't played the first Witcher game. Fantastic story. During my many travels, I have seen countless extraordinary places. The primeval wilds of Brokilon, with trees so high their tips disappear in the clouds. Dwarven chambers carved into the guts of the Mahakaman Mountains, with walls plated in pure gold. The ice palace of Pont Vannis, adorned with stained frost windows. Yet none of these made such an impression on me as did the rightly famed Zerrikania. Yet while I was traversing the fiery mountains, I feared disappointment awaited me on the other side. I had heard many a fantastic tale about Zerrikania, about its trackless sands, burnt white by the sun, its golden-scaled dragons weaving their nests amidst the dunes, its hunchbacked horses able to survive weeks without even a swallow of water. Ah, camels. Yet none seemed to me at all plausible. I was sure all these sensations were but the figment of some bard's overactive imagination. I know this will be as hard for you to believe, dear reader, as it once was for me, but all the unbelievable tales are true. Not only that, during my many months of travel, I came across wonders far surpassing those any prior travelogues mentioned. I saw temples dedicated to the worship of dragons. I heard their voice, almost human, but reverberating with 1,000 echoes. I met warrior maids clad in leopard skin, tattooed from head to foot and giving no ground to witchers in mastery of the blade. I saw mages who channeled power from fire. I saw seemingly harmless flies whose solitary bite would make a man fall into a deep slumber, never to awake save to die. In short, Zerrikania is a land where the fantastic is normal and the impossible occurs daily. I wonder if we get to go to Zerrikania in this game. How cool would that be? We've heard so much throughout all 3 games. Okay, we need to decide what we're gonna wear. Oh, not that one. Yeah, not that one either. This is the best looking one, I suppose. And then we have 3 pairs of shoes. However, they all look to be the same. Yeah, they are. And then 3 pairs of pants, which also all look to be the same. Oh, look, we still get to keep the bath towel. Look at that, score.
Black suits the gentleman. Does the outfit satisfy the gentleman?
A studded doublet and a sword on my back, that's what would satisfy me. But tough, when in Nilfgaard.
Yes?
It's a saying. So what now? Powder my nose?
No need. The gentleman's complexion is light enough.
He took it seriously.
Is to stand before the ruler of the North and South. I must confirm that he knows how to bow.
Okay.
Confirm away.
Please watch. Leg extended.
Left leg.
Flat, head down.
Left arm.
Chin to chest.
And then right is in. So right is in and back, and left is out and forward. Left leg forward, right hand on chest. Left leg back, hand on side, right leg forward. It's this one. Although this is absurd, I'm gonna say that.
Gotta be kidding.
Not at all. I am mortally serious.
Mortally?
Does the gentleman know the penalty for breaches of etiquette in the Emperor's presence? 200 lashes.
In a row?
I do not wish that upon him. So I will not let him leave until I am confident that he knows how to behave.
Well, it's this one. Lacking fluidity and grace. Yeah, that's right.
But we've learned to
he just stuck himself in the position.
Come with me.
Come on, Geralt. I could have done better than that. Then again, he's probably purposely mocking the guy, as this is absurd.
The gentleman will address the Emperor only when asked to, and using the appropriate title.
Your Arch Magnificency.
I see the gentleman is in the mood for jests.
Oh, real quick, before we move on, let's get caught up on some other reading here. We never finished this. Lilac and Gooseberries. This is the quest that we finished last episode. Ultimately, it was Yennefer who found Geralt. The one-time lovers had not even a moment to enjoy their reunion, for Yennefer insisted they ride to Vizima as quickly as possible. The Emperor of Nilfgaard awaited them there. Though Temeria's former capital was but a few miles from White Orchard, the journey was to be rife with drama, and we know all about that. And now we have this new quest, Imperial Audience. Geralt had spent years looking for Yennefer, only to have her find him. He had appeared outside the tavern in White Orchard, escorted by Nilfgaardian soldiers. The one-time lovers could not enjoy... Oh, we've read that. Geralt and Yennefer had then left White Orchard accompanied by the Nilfgaardians. But only the Witcher and the Sorceress reached Vizima. Along the way, their column was attacked by a cavalcade of wraiths, the Omen of War, the Wild Hunt. So it was the Wild Hunt. They looked different. Geralt's head was abuzz with questions. What had he gotten into? How had the hunt found them? Why was it looking for them? Why had he been summoned to Vizima? How many Tutsi... Oh, hang on. Sorry, I lost my place there. He was to get his answers from none other than the Emperor of Nilfgaard himself, Emir Var Emrys, the White Flame, blah, 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 the most powerful man in the known world. Okay. Just some fluff there.
Share his disposition.
Do we have a new quest? Not quest, but character stuff? Oh, Water Hags. Yeah, I read this before. What about characters? Ah, here he is. Emir Var Emrys, and that's what he looks like. I believe this is the first time we've seen him. Few names in the continent's history arouse as much terror and respect as that of Emir Var Emrys. Deathwade Adan Yin Kinmakamada. The White Flame dancing on the graves of his foes. Emperor of Nilfgaard, Lord of Metinna, Ebbing, and titles. He was ruler of half the civilized world and aspiring conqueror of the other half. He was a personage whose deeds and decisions shaped the fates of whole kingdoms and populations. What, then, could he possibly want of a simple Witcher? And we've got this guy who asked us our questions to simulate our Witcher 2 save. Morvrin Voorhees, commander of the Alba Division, an officer of the highest rank and a pure-blooded aristocrat, one who with pride could call himself a Nilfgaardian, a designation reserved only for native-born inhabitants of the Empire's capital and its immediate surroundings. At the time of their first meeting, Geralt had no idea what an important person had been assigned to the task of asking him a few routine questions. Knowing the Witcher, however, knowledge of Morvrin's rank and status would not have made much of a difference. Great.
Your Majesty will suffice. Spoken loudly, clearly, and with respect.
I would like to go that way. What's down here? Oh, I can slide down the stairs. Let's do that again. Oh. The Wild Hunt. From farmers and herdsmen, milkmaids to midwives, all the common folk of the continent whisper, sharing tales of a wraithly procession pounding across the sky. The Wild Hunt, they call it. Winds and gales, storms and blizzards arise when it is sighted. It all grows cold, though the sun shone bright moments before. They're like dementors. Some remember only the cold from the shock of the encounter, and claim the riders come always in winter, but nay, this is not so. The hunt brings its own ice. Death and war gallop in its wake, or so the superstition goes. Yet evil enough is the hunt itself. It takes folk captive, youths most often. What is a youth? In the prime of their wildling years, with 10 to 20 summers behind them. The hunt rushes in and they disappear, only to return long years later with no memory of what passed in the time between. It's almost like alien abduction, isn't it? There we go. Dwarven spirit.
in grimi eb art ketzer. Daifen aden in karn eb marvut. Emir var emreis.
Bow.
All right. I'll bow. It's such a crap bow.
Your Imperial Majesty.
Arer ep the orde.
Avelian namen, vatgern favort.
Leave me with the Witcher. Oh, did it actually tell me in the captions what he said? I know Vatgern is Witcher. Hey, Kramir. Great to hear from you.
I thought you bowed before no man.
Didn't want to disappoint the Chamberlain. We're friends.
Should I have not bowed? He seems to have lost respect for me.
Me to reminisce about the good old days, so...
Silence. My daughter Cyrilla, she's returned. And she's in danger. The wild hunt pursues her. You will find her and bring her to me.
Wait, so Cyrilla, that's Ciri, right?
Are you sure? Ciri left.
Yep.
Went far, far away.
Do you believe I'd drag you here in the middle of a war to discuss a rumor?
I think anyone can be wrong, even an emperor.
I had forgotten how insolent you can be. I haven't the time to convince you, nor the desire, in fact. Yennefer will do that after the audience.
Indeed I am, Kramir, and I've actually... Oh, whoops. I've actually just got to the part that I haven't played yet, which is exciting. The rest of my... I don't know, this current playthrough is up on YouTube, but it's not blind or anything. But I figured I'd record it.
How many men in your army? 20,000? 30? So why me?
You know why. Because she trusts you.
She trusts me. Yes. So tell me why you're looking for her. Doubt it's about making up for all those lost years.
For reasons of state, as always. Enough of this banter. You will agree regardless. If for no other reason than because I shall pay you. More than you customarily receive for a contract. Considerably more.
Oh, man. There's just something about him that makes you hate him just a little bit. Need information, not motivation. Only doing this for Ciri. Yeah, information.
I need information, not motivation. Ciri leaves few tracks. She'll be hard to find.
My corps of spies will help you. Count on them and my army, should the need arise. Yennefer will tell you the rest. This audience is finished. Mererid! Take him to the sorceress.
He seems lonely or brooding or something. Does he love Ciri?
Please keep close. There are many.
But wasn't she driven out of Nilfgaard? And for what reason was she driven out? I didn't read the later books, so I don't have a lot of information on Ciri. Hang on, let me see if there's... Oh, whoops. Some sort of update for Cyrilla. There's an update for him, though. What could he want of a simple Witcher? The Emperor clearly and succinctly laid out what he wanted. His daughter and Geralt's ward, Cyrilla, was in danger. For the Wild Hunt was on her trail. Geralt, a superb tracker linked to Emir's daughter by the iron bonds of destiny, stood a better chance of finding her than anyone else in the world.
How does one hunt that sort of...
If ain't Kershire, if Daithmin hadn't...
Oh, wow.
What?
I recognize this from the first game, and I suppose the second. Although, look, there's Nilfgaard crap everywhere. What are they doing? Oh, they're breaking up the lilies, the Temerian coat of arms.
I demand...
Calm down. The Emperor demands silence. Those who disturb face harsh punishment, no matter their birth.
The gentleman will have time for a stroll later. Please stay with me.
How do you dye your hair? Is it a brew of parsley root?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. Ooh, let's see if we can loot this area. Hang on, save. Seems like we can loot. Pure silver. We can also go over here. That's a dead end. A candelabrum. Sorry, don't understand.
Yes, pen as green.
Dimeridium again. So they're breaking the stained glass as well. Although not the... Ooh, what was that? Oh, I can't access my inventory. I got some sort of rune there. One I don't recognize, in fact. Dazbog, that's the flame rune.
What now?
And the black pearl.
The gentleman will have time for a stroll later. Please stay with me.
The trial of the grasses. And in fact, it wouldn't even be a guarantee, right? Because as far as I know, only Geralt's hair has turned white from the trial of the grasses, and no other Witcher that I can think of. Possibly Vesemir, though his hair is likely just white from being old. Is there anything up here? Nice looking throne. Iron ore. This is all well worth picking up.
Please stay with me.
I saw you in Vizima. Forgive us, sir. We are occupied.
All right, you're forgiven.
The gentleman will have time for a stroll later. Please stay with me.
He's nagging me over there. What's this?
Yeah.
A rusty bread knife. Oh, let's talk to this guy. Does Geralt speak Nilfgaardian?
Why not join in instead?
We're discussing
Why not join in
neutrality.
instead? His
How
voice.
difficult it is to preserve.
Oh, I know all about that. Yep.
Know a thing or two about that.
Care to explain?
Never changes. I try to stay out of things, stand aside. Then comes an urgent summons, and an offer I can't refuse.
Yep. Story of his life, really.
Enough about that. Mind if we change the subject? So, talk to the Emperor.
Why did he summon you?
So not even you know.
No. But I wager it's an ordinary witcher's contract.
Some werebubs.
Some werebubs, huh?
See you.
Soon, mind you.
Yeah, would the Emperor really summon a Witcher for some trivial contract? Unless it was something very private that he wanted to hide. Yeah, he doesn't want people knowing about this. Man, I hope I find out what happened to Cirilla, why she was driven out of the kingdom. And I do know that Cirilla is also Geralt's unexpected child, and that's their connection that they have.
I have my eye on you, Nordling.
I'm just gonna pick some herbs.
The gentleman will have time for a stroll later. Please stay.
It looks like there's some sort of room over here. Oh, it's locked. Have I seen the Netflix Witcher? Not yet. I'm aware that it's out, though. Not yet.
Well sharpened yet. Yes.
I feel I'm either going to love it or hate it, you know? Since I'm a fan of the games and the books. Pearls of the North, Nilfgaard. So here we have... No one can claim to have traveled the Northern Realms who has not been to Nilfgaard. If I were forced to list what during my many meanderings has made the greatest impression on me, it would be precisely this great and yet at the same time free city. He says that as if it's, you know, rare for a place to be both free and great. Wouldn't that make it great, the fact that it's free? A metropolis worthy of the Empire. Oh, this is like the Hong Kong of the Witcher universe, isn't it? Its only flaw is that the civilization Nilfgaard carries within her has not yet enlightened it. That is why hordes of reactionary cultists of the Eternal Fire dwell in the midst of its excellent buildings and superb commercial infrastructure. Oh, well, that put a lot of stink on it. The Eternal frickin' Fire. One feels as though superstition is how the local hierarch and its temple guard cement their power over the city dwellers. And many they are to control, for the city counts no less than 30,000 of its inhabitants. While strolling through its fabulous port, surrounded by marvels of architecture. Oh, you haven't seen the show yet? Surprisingly, people are saying it's good. Awesome. Yeah, I say I'm either gonna love it or hate it, because if they don't do a good job portraying the characters of The Witcher, I'm gonna hate it, you know? You're so used to the way you envision a character. And in the games, they do a fantastic job with Geralt. He is basically how he is described in the book, for the most part. It's very well done. Anyway. When the city fell into the hands of the Nordlings, its problems grew exponentially. For as is well known, the people of the North can do a great many things, but peaceful and orderly cohabitation is not one of them. And so Novigrad first belonged to Redania, and then fell under Temerian rule until finally, after endless compromises and bargains, it at last became a free city. But is the city truly free? I dare to doubt it. Redanian influence makes itself felt too strongly on every street corner, and the fact that the city is located within Radovid's territory speaks for itself. While wandering the city streets, I came across 4 watermills, 8 banks, and nearly 19 pawnshops. There were also a great many houses of simple pleasures, such as taverns and brothels, and Novigrad's commitment to matters of faith is borne witness to by the fact that the city contains no less than, I kid you not, 19 temples to the Eternal Fire. I am staying the hell away from there. What more can be said? I think Novigrad has all the makings of the capital of the world, and perhaps that is what it will one day become. First, however, someone needs to bring order to within her walls. Okay, so that was written by a Nilfgaardian for sure. Sword for Witches we've already read.
They both display a similar ruthlessness and cynicism that...
Please wait your
the Netflix Geralt actor is apparently a fan of the books and games. That gave you a lot of hope when you heard that. That is fantastic. The fact that he's read the books should help tremendously with his portrayal. Now all they have to do is make sure he looks like Geralt. But that's something they can fix, you know? A portrayal of the elder races. This is new. What is a non-human? The answer is simple. As the very name suggests, it is something which resembles and yet nevertheless is not a human. Though it walks on 2 legs, speaks a tongue similar to our own, and dresses in similar attire, it all the same has more in common with base beast than noble man. Oh, gross. I'm gonna hate reading this, aren't I? Dwarves are like moles. Oh, good God. Actually, one of my favorite books from when I was a kid, the Artemis Fowl series, their depiction of dwarves were much like moles. They actually would eat through the earth and then expel the earth rather explosively out there behind and like unhinge their jaw, and that way they would be able to like burrow through the earth like a mole much faster than a mole. Really impressive and disgusting. They made a movie, and I don't remember if it came out or if it's coming out or what, but probably geared towards a younger crowd, and I'm not gonna like it. They like to live in filth forever. Oh wait, they feel best underground and avoid direct sunlight. They like to live in... This is such a lie. Anybody can walk around and go and find a dwarf walking around in the sunlight with their cheery Scottish accents. They like to live in filth, forever smudging themselves in mud and slime. They love everything that can be found within the earth. Rocks, metal, minerals of all shape and color. It is also said that, like their kindred moles, they feed most readily on worms, roaches, and other night crawlers. Ugh. halflings... So, here's the thing. The dwarves have assimilated much better than the other non-human races. Dwarves and gnomes, I think, really assimilated well into human culture. Yes, there's a lot of racism, but unlike the elves have just had such a hard time accepting human rule that it's caused a lot of strife. The elves see themselves superior, where I think the dwarves see themselves as just on equal footing with mankind, and that attitude does make them, you know, a lot less hard to work with. Anyway, halflings for their part are more reminiscent of gophers, okay? Fat, lazy, and loud in that typical rodent way, their minds are filled with with thoughts of food and drink, which they steal from other, nobler beasts and greedily squirrel away in their hovels. They are marked by a cruel craftiness. You could be dying of hunger and they would not share a meal with you. You could be howling from poverty and they could be swimming in gold, and yet they would still fleece you to the last crown. You could do nothing but good to them and they would still stab you with a knife in the back. I've never met a halfling in the Witcher universe. Elves, in turn, seem related to the birds of prey that dwell in far-off Saracania. They care most for colored feathers. They would most readily spend all day staring at their reflections in the water and singing their own praises. They are so awash in self-love that they no longer feel any desire towards members of the opposite sex of their own species. Their appearance, unquestionably pleasant to the eye, is highly misleading, for they are extraordinarily cruel, and any who judge them by looks alone, they first dupe and then kill in cold blood. The best proof of this? The so-called Scoia'tael, bandits that claim to fight for freedom, but in truth only long to kill humans. That's mostly hyperbole, but not that far off, to be honest. All these vile so-called elder races, to our great fortune, slowly dying out. Joy fills the heart of every right-thinking man at the thought that his great-grandchildren will never know them, that in their day, dwarves, halflings, and elves will be mere fairy tale characters used to scare young, impressionable children. It's kind of cool to think about, what if there was this kind of lost world, lost civilization, that way before in our ancient history, there existed humans and elves and dwarves and whatnot, and even technology that was then lost to the ages because of some sort of cataclysmic event sending mankind to the Stone Age. It's a cool theory to think about. Among the other cool and yet practically implausible theories, like the Hollow Earth theory, as cool as it is, it's nonsense. That one's a bit less nonsense, though. You know, like with Atlantis and everything, there's a recurring mythos about an ancient, advanced civilization. And it'd be cool to think of, hey, maybe there were dwarves and elves, and only the tales remain, and then the species themselves have died out. This, of course, goes hand in hand with the belief that we did not evolve, as Darwin said, directly from primates, but in fact that we originate down a completely different evolutionary branch or something, or maybe even that our that our DNA was tampered with by either extraterrestrials or humans coming back from the future. It's all cool to think about. I'm a huge fan of just fantasy in general. Hence why I love this game. Let's get out of here and look at something else. And this is a big reason why I love The Witcher. As you're reading and exploring the world, it makes you think quite a bit. There's a lot of political commentary in The Witcher, and there's a lot of the observation of morals, of what is good and right, there's a whole theme of, you know, it's never clear what is the right choice or what is the moral choice. Often you have to choose between two things that are shades of gray. By the way, you're getting a new graphics card. Your mom paid the rest of the money you were missing, and so you're getting it for Christmas. Congratulations, that's exciting. What shall become of Temeria? I don't know. Temeria, a land where milk and honey once flowed. And what did she wrong the gods that they should treat her so cruelly? The Pearl of the North to some, she proved a galloping range from Nilfgaardian cavalry to others. As a country, it had survived 2 previous wars against the Empire. It was here that the war's bloodiest battles were fought. It was in Temeria where the most bestial deeds were wrought. Oh, he's rhyming now. It was Temerian civilians who bore the full brunt of these war's horrors. And bear them we did, bravely and steadfastly, until the demise of our great protector, King Foltest. I loved King Foltest. He was such a bro. Such a bro. Then Providence turned its fickle face from Temeria. Murdered most treacherously, Foltest failed to leave Temeria worthy successor. Shoot. And so all manner of cur soon fell upon her, tearing her apart like so much carrion. She had no more allies then, none remembered that we had once been the armor protecting the north from the designs of the Mad Dancer, who had the gravestones of his foes pounded into a ballroom floor. That's why Nilfgaard invaded again, huh? They're taking advantage of this chaotic situation, left in the wake of the Assassin of Kings, of Letho and the mages and all of that went down in the second Witcher game. A free and independent Temeria is no more. A dark-faced sun looms over her every rampart. Yet we Temerians live on, and always will. As long as folk believe the usurper who took our beloved capital Vizima to treat as his property will forever peer over his shoulder in fear. That was a convoluted sentence. For in the shadows lurks not one dagger, but the power of a nation of daggers, waiting to deal justice's blow. Hell yeah, that was patriotic. Royal lineages of the North. I don't believe we've read this before. Oh, this is the information on Cirilla. Maybe we find out why she was rejected. She was born in 1251, heiress to the throne of Sintra, Princess of Bruges and Duchess of Sodden, blah, 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 blah. Skellige, daughter of Pavetta, and the Urkion of Erlenwald. Oh, this is like before he was emperor. Granddaughter of the famous Lioness Sintra, Queen Calanth. A shipwreck occurred during a journey from Sintra to Skellige, which took the lives of the Urkion and Pavetta. Cirilla's further... Wait a second. It took the Urkion of Erlenwald's life, so that's not Emir Var Emreis. Okay, so Cirilla is not his daughter. Maybe she's an adopted daughter, which took the lives of blah, blah, blah. Cirilla's further upbringing was then entrusted to her grandmother. In 1260, afraid of the looming Nilfgaardian threat, Queen Calanth sent Cirilla to the court of King Everil, where the heiress of Sintra was to marry the heir to the throne of Verdun. Though allying with Verdun and gaining the aid of that realm's army was at the time Calanth's top priority, no marriage ever occurred, and Cirilla returned to her grandmother's court. In 1262, during the so-called Sintra massacre, Cirilla went missing. I'm so confused. What is her connection to Emir? I don't know. But what we can all agree on, being moral, is stealing everything from everyone's houses in every village in the kingdom. Well, of course, that is the only thing that we can be sure is right and just in this world. You've got a point there. Look at this. Big old green goopy tank. What could this possibly be? Okay, we got everything here.
What do you mean? Directly out of Nordling tales. Inconceivable.
Inconceivable! Oh, I wanted to loot.
Geralt.
Too late.
That tunic. You look positively smashing.
Smashing.
Dying to take it off.
I'd consider that a proposition under different circumstances. One I might even take you up on. But we've matters to attend to. Now do you understand why I'm at Emir's court?
Yes, for Ciri.
It seems we're in the same boat now. Ciri, she's really back? No chance he's mistaken?
Look, that's more or less what she looks like now. Or so our agents claim.
She's a young woman.
Our little witch has grown into a young lady.
So they're our agents now? My, you've clearly settled in quick.
Geralt, don't twist my words. I know who Emir is. He started this war and its bloodshed. He had my friends killed. But I haven't any other choice. So please, let's not belabor the pros and cons and instead focus on
all right, calm down. I'm just poking at,
right.
I'm just ripping, I'm razzing you, that's it. Just calm down.
I'd find that hard to believe before what happened yesterday. How did they track us down?
Because of me. You see, I've spent months searching for Ciri, using locating spells, haruspicy, geomancy, anything, really. I knew the Wild Hunt might sense it, perhaps even find me, but I thought I'd tricked them.
Well, guess you were wrong.
I've sensed them on my trail, hunting me, for some time. If not for you and Emir's soldiers, they'd have gotten what they were after. I can't risk another encounter like that. It's time to put away the magic, turn to more traditional methods. To the best tracker I know. You must find her, Geralt, before the Wild Hunt does.
By the way, you would suggest you try out the, that I try out the Polish voice acting in The Witcher, and I assume you're talking about this game right now. Now, here's my thoughts on that. Usually, I agree that the original voice acting for a game, as is often the case with anime, the original voice acting is usually better. In this case, I've played the entire franchise in English, so I've just gotten used to Geralt's voice. And I don't think I would enjoy it as much if it was in Polish with a different voice, even if it was better, you know? And that's my reasoning for doing it in English. If I had started in Polish, it would be a different story. I would be used to that. And it is what it is. What's the Wild Hunt want from Ciri? So where's Ciri been seen? So these are two different things. This is a good opportunity as well. I wanted to talk about Ciri. So Ciri is a source and directly, like a direct descendant of the Elder Blood, some sort of powerful, like, elven bloodline or something like that. No, it may be the inheritor of that bloodline through some sort of magical mechanism. I don't know. All I know is she is incredibly powerful and is able to travel through time and even travel through worlds. Remember that in The Witcher, this event called the Conjunction of the Spheres brought together different worlds, different dimensions, if you will, and that's where monsters and magic came from, into this world. It is thought that humans possibly also came from another world. So then that's a cool thing to think about. What if this is a different universe where they were only the elder races, like halflings, gnomes, and dwarves, and then all elves and all that. And this is our world right here, as in the one I'm living in. Only humans exist here. And in the Conjunction of the Spheres, some humans from our planet or our universe slipped into this fantasy universe. And I just love that. I love thinking that, hey, maybe this is real. Obviously, it's not. It's a fantasy, but it's cool to entertain the notion and really helps you get immersed in the universe that this, like, legitimately could be taking place or have taken place. So yeah, Ciri can travel to different spheres, different worlds, and so finding her, I imagine, would be next to impossible.
So where's Ciri been seen exactly?
In two places, Velen and Nilfgaard. The trail in Velen is most promising. You should make that your first stop. Ask for a merchant named Hendrik at the inn at the crossroads.
Hendrik at the inn at the crossroads.
Agents. He should get in touch with you.
Hendrik. Got it.
Passwords, secret handshakes?
None. Sorry to spoil your fun. Your boyhood fantasies about the crafts of the trade. All we have in Nilfgaard are unconfirmed reports, rumors. But there you will have the help of our mutual acquaintance.
Yes, Premier, you used the phrase fair enough.
Apparently she's got a
perfectly.
cozy
That's
flat
exactly
in the main
what
square.
people say it for.
Sure, she'll be delighted to see me. What about you? What will you do?
I shall sail for Skellige. There was a magic explosion there recently, blew half a forest down. I believe this had something to do with Ciri. I'll be in Caer Trold. Join me there once you've learned something.
Caer Trold. Okay, before we part, why didn't you contact me earlier? Ugh. I actually don't want to ask this. It makes me kind of seem whiny or clingy or dependent. But then again, I have to know what happens, right? Aw, curse you, game, because I could skip this and just not say it. But I want to know what he says. Alright, let's say it. First of all, I do not agree with this. If this was just me role-playing, I would not say this, but, I mean, we gotta see what he says.
One thing before we go. Why didn't you contact me? Didn't need me? Didn't even want to see me?
I didn't want to spoil things. I'd heard you and Triss made a great couple.
Yen, I'd lost my memory.
Oh my god, Yennefer. She knows.
That's your excuse?
Oh, good grief. Triss was taking advantage of the
right?
situation.
It's not what you think, or it helped me understand how much I love you. I don't wish to hear it. Any of it.
I agree, Yennefer. Let's just move on. We don't have that kind of relationship anyway. Let's just get to business. Let's focus on Ciri here. Ugh.
Guess this means
slightly awkward conversation.
Not my preference, but I understand. Clock's ticking.
It is indeed. So why don't I teleport you to Velen, get you there at once?
Not gonna happen. I'll go on horseback as soon as I can get changed.
Yeah, Geralt does not like being teleported.
Oh, and you really look quite dashing in black velvet.
Think so? Maybe I can have some of my armor lined with it. Good luck, Yen.
Same to you. And if you wish to learn what's happened in the world while you and Vesemir roamed the wilderness, talk to Ambassador Varatra. That's him over there.
Varatra.
And Geralt, I know it's wartime, but try not to be a hero, all right? Just check those leads and come back to me, in one piece. I shall be waiting.
Okay. Let's take a look around here. Whoa! She's leaving quite a mess here. Hang on. I'm coming with you! No! Ah, I was too late. The collected verse of Gonzalo de Versio. There's a lot of reading in this episode. I'm fine. I feel bad for anyone who ends up watching this and you don't like all the reading. Too bad. I'm doing it. Love. To love is to build a house of cards, or play a game of chess. But one wrong word or ill-thought move, and you must start it all afresh. Tide. Whenever I watch the tide preside, cold coils of fear grip round my heart. Will the seas sneak back, calm and sure, in the dark of night as they have before? Or will they stay on the distant shores, leaving crushed shells and washed-up dreams as memory of serfs of yore? Beautiful. Yeah. And loot the rusty bread knife. We've read that before. The Wild Hunt we've also read. We've read that. We're just getting second copies of books now. She Who Knows. What is this? Folks say there were four at first. The mother, She Who Knows, the Lady of the Wood, came here from a faraway land, and since she suffered terribly from loneliness, she made 3 daughters out of dirt and water. This is strange. A long, long time ago, the mother was sole ruler of all of Velen. Her daughters brought her the people's requests and served as her voice. Each spring, sacrifices of grain, animals, and men were made to the Lady of the Wood on her special night. Yet as the years passed, the Lady of the Wood slipped deeper and deeper into madness. Her madness eventually spread over the land. Men took to abandoning their homes and setting out into the bog, where they became food for beasts. Before long, Velen was drowning in blood. The daughters saw their land nearing destruction and took it upon themselves to save it. When spring came once more, and with it the night of sacrifices, they killed their mother and buried her in the bog. Her blood watered the oak atop Erd Kerbin, and from then on the tree grew wholesome and hearty fruit for the people. As for the lady's immortal soul, it refused to leave its beloved land, and so the sisters imprisoned it. To this day it lies trapped beneath the whispering hillock, where it thrashes about in powerless rage. If you would jump into the portal, it would teleport you on a table in the adjoining room. Oh, that's awesome. You can jump into the portal. If I was quicker, I would have saw that. Nice. Thanks for that. I never would have known otherwise. An Orin. A single Orin. We got some boots and superior beast oil. Wow. Lucky. There's a chest in here. That's interesting. The Last Wish. Oh, wow. I need to read that. Human life requires 3 things for its sustenance: food, drink, and gossip. I gotta admit, it's hard not to gossip. It is thus no wonder that no matter where I travel, be it icebound Povis or Great Green Toussaint, everyone asks me about the passions that bind Geralt and the sorceress Yennefer of Vengerberg. As a man both cautious and discreet, I refuse to betray their secrets, with one important exception. The history of their first encounter is so extraordinary, so romantic and moving, that it would be a veritable crime to hide its light beneath a bushel basket. Indeed, had I not witnessed these events in person, I would never believe there was room in our grim and dark world for such fantastic marvels. It is a marvel indeed. It all began when Geralt and I were feeling a bit peckish and unburdened by heavy coin pouches, decided to fish our supper out of a lake. No bites were to be had, but we did not leave empty-handed. My hook snagged quite a lovely little pot. Oblivious to my friend's warnings, I opened it, and in doing so, freed a powerful djinn. I think is how you say that? It's basically a genie. It's a genie, guys. Without giving it much thought, I set about proclaiming my wishes. Before I could get to 3, however, the djinn, irritated, I see now in hindsight at being issued demands so soon after waking, began to throttle me. It's just like Aladdin, isn't it? Geralt was able to drive him off, but I was left in a sorry state. I acted, the Witcher told me later, as though under the influence of some curse. Clearly the help of an expert in the magic arcana would be needed. It was our good fortune that Yennefer of Vengerberg happened to be staying in a nearby village. Geralt went to her to ask that she heal his best friend, who happened also to be the brightest star in the North's poetic firmament, Dandelion himself. Yennefer, however, was more interested in the djinn, which she wanted to trap into magic servitude, than its own victim, and it should be said, played the Witcher like a well-strung mandolin. Yet rather than grow angry at being used in such a calculating manner, he fell white head over muddy boots in love with her. What happened then, well, I won't go into details. Suffice to say that Yennefer's plans hardly delighted the djinn, and without his cooperation, she proved unable to tame it. The mentioning of Toussaint is in the book reminds you to ask if you're going to play the DLCs. I am. By the way, when should I play the DLC? Should I do it after the main story? Should I just do it whenever it comes up naturally? Is there like a best time to do it? Because I assume that you can go, it's an open world, right? So I assume you can kind of do it at different points and whenever you want. However, people who played this game when it came out would not access the DLC until after the whole main story was done. So that's all. I'm just wondering if it's meant to be done in the middle or at the end of the game. It was our good fortune that, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. The sorceress would surely have met a tragic end and taken all of Rind along with her, had Geralt not rushed to her rescue. For once, he did not need to draw either of his blades. To send the djinn packing, he had but to pronounce the third and final wish. He could have asked for anything, wealth, fame, power, but instead he asked the djinn to bind his fate to that of the arrogant yet intriguing sorceress from Vengerberg. What an interesting wish. Award-winning poet, playwright. Oh no, this is Julian Alfred Pankratz, so it's not Dandelion. Fascinating, I just assumed it was. From Oxenford Academy. You played Heart of Stone first and Blood and Wine second, and you did both of them after the main story. Lunar shards. Oh, that is rare sounding. A silver mug. Oh, wait, what's this?
Scars healed nicely.
Letter to Yennefer. Yennefer, my dear friend, thank you for your letter. Forgive me for not answering your earlier attempt to reach me via Megascope. I am trying to limit my magic communication to the absolute minimum. One never knows who's listening, don't you agree? I'm delighted you have found a position at our gracious Emperor's court and wish you the best of luck in the search for his daughter. It is good to know that Emir's intentions for her have become more, how shall I put it, mundane. Perhaps in these circumstances, an agreement regarding the lodge will prove possible after all. In response to your first question, I can state beyond all doubt that Ciri has not appeared anywhere south of the Yaruga. Believe me, I could recognize her magic signature in my sleep. I have not had any contact with Triss for a long time. I only know that things in Novigrad have taken an ill turn. She mentioned something earlier about fleeing to Kovir, but I'm afraid that in the current political climate that amounts to an impossible daydream. I hope I will soon be able to join you in Vizima. First, however, I must take care of some unfortunate yet urgent matters in Beauclair. With my fondest regards, Fringilla Vigo. Thank you for the news about Geralt. He always seems to land on his feet, doesn't he? Man, all the sorceresses are big fans of Geralt. They love him. I don't know what it is. He is popular with magical ladies. What do we have over here? It's locked, okay.
A shame I have no time.
Is this the guy I'm supposed to talk to? I think so. Hang on. And have I already looted the rest of this? I believe I have. Let's talk to him.
Ambassador Varatra, Yennefer suggested I ask you about current events, the war and so on.
Of course.
The Emperor's servants should keep no secrets from each other. If you will, let us approach the map.
Am I supposed to do something here? Oh. What's the situation in Velen, Nilfgaard? Well, let's ask about the war then.
How's the war going? I mean, apart from the
DLC's after the main game. Okay, thanks.
Imminent.
I assume this to be a private conversation. We've no witnesses, so let's dispense with the propaganda.
I like this guy.
Shrouded in irony.
Nice.
Our offensive was going splendidly until winter came. Edirne was in such disarray that we encountered no resistance. We had reached the Pontar before the first snows. Only a weakened Kedwen remained, and Radovid's Redania, which had ignored the rest of the North's pleas for help. We thought they'd sue for peace, perhaps even submit to vassalization. We waited for spring, certain of victory.
Radovid? Submit?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Radovid the Stern?
I agree. Radovid sent no peace envoys, nor did he advance on our positions. Instead, he trudged over the snow-bound Kestrel Mountains and attacked Kedwen, his ally.
Huh.
This attack took
so he's consolidating the north.
They were still mourning the loss of their king. Rudderless and dejected, they laid down their arms after a few lost skirmishes and joined Radovid. And so by spring, instead of 2 weak enemies, we had only 1 powerful one.
Smart. That was smart of him. To be honest, I'm a fan of Radovid. I think he's great. Radovid and Foltest were my 2 favorite kings of the north, and I'm not a fan of any of the others. And remind me, Krimir, too, I have a question about a bit the skills, or a particular skill that I got after we finished talking to this guy. Yeah, this
that
one.
Admiration I hear in your voice?
Radovid is our foe, but I cannot deny he is clever. He played us for fools, particularly dense ones at that. Returning to the war, this spring there was a massive battle in the marshes of Velen. Massive, yet indecisive. Both sides suffered enormous losses, unprecedented even. Radovid has retreated across the Pontar. He's safe for now, until reinforcements arrive from the south. Then Emperor Emir var Emrys will deal with him once and for all.
Couldn't you just go home? Save everyone a lot of marching, not to mention a few human lives.
I'm afraid the stakes are too high to fold now. We can only go all in.
Is there something up with his eye? Look at his eye, his left eye. It's a bit scrunched or squinting. What's the situation in Velen, since we're going to be going there anyway?
How do things look in Velen?
As bad as ever, perhaps worse. This land never flowed with milk and honey, and now it flows with blood. Armies have swept through it several times, trampling fields, looting granaries, burning villages. Famine grips the populace.
So how's ruling that earthly paradise going for you?
Not well, to be honest. Our forces are spread thin as it is, and Velen is chiefly swampy forests that are difficult to control. We've had several patrols never return to their camps. Thus, we've temporarily delegated authority in this region to a certain Nordling, a former low-ranking officer in the Temerian army, one Philip Strenger, better known by his nom de guerre, the Bloody Baron.
The Bloody Baron, that's awesome.
Avoid him.
Oh, that is cool. Okay, we got to remember about that guy, the Bloody Baron. Yes, the enemies, enemy upscaling. Yeah, I still have 2 questions that I haven't figured out yet. One is the movement, like there's a normal movement style and an alternative movement style, and I couldn't really tell the difference between them. The other thing is the enemy upscaling, and should I have that on or off, or what does it do? I assume it'll level up low-level enemies to match your level, but, I mean, I can see arguing for not having that on, because then you get to experience like being really strong versus certain enemies. It's more realistic. From a role-playing perspective, the upscaling doesn't seem to be a good choice, but then from a gameplay perspective and enjoyment of the game, maybe it makes sense. Let's ask about Nilfgaard, since that's the next place we're gonna go.
Is the free city still free?
Yes, Although everyone knows this won't last. Radovid is in Oxenfurt.
There's Nilfgaard.
And the Emperor is here in Vizima, at Novigrad's doorstep, both. And both require coin and ships. Novigrad can provide these. Which is why the mood in the city is rather, well, on edge.
Meaning?
How do men deal with fear? They seek reassurance. And scapegoats. The Church of the Eternal Fire understands this perfectly, and so it promises to improve the lives of its flock by pointing out the guilty. Who started the war? Who profits from it? Why, it's obvious. Mages, elves, dwarves, in a word, any and all deviants. I've been stationed in Novigrad for 13 years. First as a consul, then as ambassador. I've seen a great deal. Cruelty, cynicism, greed. But what is happening there now concerns me greatly.
I really like this guy. He's got his head on straight. Everything that's happening in this game is making me more favorable to Nilfgaard for some reason. What are they doing here? I thought Nilfgaard was the enemy, but they don't seem to be in this case.
What's new in Skellige?
Nothing. The islanders pride themselves on that, don't they? Doing everything according to tradition, as their forefathers did. And like their forefathers, they quarrel with each other, pillage, occasionally attack our transports. This is cumbersome, but nothing more. Skellige has always been a footnote.
Oh, Skellige. I've been saying it wrong.
Sound awfully confident. What if King Bran manages to unite the Jarls?
King Bran?
Lead all the clans
it's
against
so
your
Game
fleet.
of Thrones.
King Bran is a feeble old man.
I can imagine this is years after the events of Game of Thrones, and King Bran is still king over there in Westeros. Okay.
Thanks for your help.
Think nothing of it. May the great sun light your path.
Can we hug? Can we come in for a hug? I love this guy. Oh. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I just meant to hug you. All right. Well, for the YouTube playthrough, because I'm recording this too, this is where I'm going to end the episode. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.